Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're out here in my garage, and it's not a hot garage, thankfully. It's been raining all day, it's been overcast, and I think the high was around 80 degrees, so I actually have my garage doors up, and it's just kind of nice to have a little bit of a breeze coming in. So it's a nice day here, and I also had one of those stupid flies that go around and go bzz, 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 and you just can't get rid of them. So I was like, just open the door, and he'll figure out a way to get outside. But anyway, I have a couple things I wanted to talk about tonight. I have some first impressions information or news on a couple of items. Actually, three items I want to talk about. One is not really a review, but we'll get into that. And then I have an upcoming projects video. So today was a good day for the Texas Gun Vault. I guess just because of the weird schedules. You guys know I'm an educator. I didn't have school today, the day after Labor Day. I'm so used to schools being out on Fridays and Mondays. It's really weird when it was a Monday and a Tuesday. So I had the day off. So I was able to go see my friend D. I was able to drop off some firearms that I have reviewed of his and kind of just make some more room. He didn't give me any more. I said, hey, listen, right now I have a stack this high of stuff to do. So I just need to clear out the safes right now. So I got that back to him, and I went over and saw my friend Jack #1, and I returned 2 of his pistols, and he had 1 for me. And then I went to the range and filmed some content. So let's go over what I learned at the range. I did both some work on the 100-yard range and the closer in 25-yard range with both of the items that I want to show you. The first thing I guess we should talk about is the big one. So let me clear some room here. And let's talk about this one. This is the Century Arms. I believe it's a Serbian RPK. So this, even though it has a bipod on it, you guys that are AK aficionados know this is not a sniper rifle. This essentially is a semi-auto version of I guess a light machine gun. And chambered in 7.62 by 39. And let me give you my impressions on it, okay? My impressions, there was 2 things about it that surprised me that I didn't like, because I thought it would shoot different. This is a pretty darn big and heavy gun. So my first assumption was this gun would not have any recoil at all. I was assuming it was going to be pretty light. I mean, AKs don't recoil that hard anyway. But there's something about it that it recoils a little bit more than I was expecting, even with the extra weight, the bipod. Yeah, it was kind of surprising. And then, and maybe it had to do with the table that I was shooting on, the slant brake that's on the front, I kind of felt like every time I was shooting it, it wanted to move to the left. And so after shooting it 5 or 6 times, I'd have to pick the gun up, reposition it, and then as I shot, it would move to the left again. So that was kind of surprising. I kind of thought it'd be a very stable platform. It shot pretty good. I would have to say it has AK accuracy. I mean, this is not a sniper rifle, even though it kind of looks like one. It's a light machine gun, but of course, this is semi-automatic only. So I think what you're pretty much getting is AK accuracy in a bigger gun. And this is obviously a range toy. This is not a serious gun that I think anybody would buy for home defense or anything like that, because it's not practical, especially in semi-automatic, but it is darn cool. I mean, I have to say, when I got this out at the range, especially on the rifle range, there was a few people that were like, whoa, what is that? And that was kind of cool. So Matt, who lent this to the channel, definitely has something really cool in his collection that gets a lot of looks. So yeah, so it's a little bit more recoiling, and it has an issue where it kind of wants to move to the left when you shoot it. The other issue that I discovered with this, and I've heard problems with Century Arms, because when these receivers are brought in, I don't know if, I'm assuming this is I'm going to try to say, this is let's see, is it a Romanian? No, I guess it's Serbian. I'm saying Serbian. No, sorry, I am completely wrong. It is Romanian. I made a big mistake. That when these receivers are brought into the United States, that they're like single stack mags, and so they have to, I guess, open these up to accept common AK mags. For some reason, these mags just don't fit in here very, very well at all. Okay, so let's see here. Here's some of the. Now I know this thing's really supposed to be run with like one of those 75 round drum mags. Now, Matt did let me borrow one. However, because of YouTube's rules, I don't want to run afoul of them. Even if I didn't shoot more than 30 rounds, I don't want to deal with having to have anything demonetized or deleted or any of that. So I just use the standard old 30 rounders, and these are completely fine for YouTube. And so I discovered that sometimes when it comes to this gun, and right there, that one locked in, sometimes they don't really want to lock in. I would put it in there, kind of rock and lock it, and I missed. It's kind of a tight mag well. Okay, it's working good now. But a few times I would put it in and it wouldn't lock here. And then after I was done shooting, I couldn't push this lever forward without a lot of pressure. I'd have to go, and then to get it out of there. So that wasn't a problem there. Then we have the Gen 3 P mags, AK mags, and I don't think these work. Yeah, this will not lock in. So I discovered that about this gun. Maybe people know about that. I didn't. I just brought a number of different magazines for this. And the P mags do not work in this gun. And let me try the other mag too, just to make sure we got all three working. Okay, so this one, okay, that one locks in pretty good, but it has to be like the right angle. Anyway, I had, man, just a hard time with these magazines, getting them in and out. You just can't change them out that quick. And so I reviewed this from actually more of like an accuracy standpoint, because I really feel like if you're an average gun guy that buys this, you're not going to shoot it like an AK. You're going to shoot it from the bench or from the ground, you know. So I reviewed it for its accuracy. It was okay. I would say at 100 yards, I had accuracy about, I don't know, about this big on a man-sized target and using the iron sights, okay? So it's not I have no magnified optic on this. I was just glad to be on the target at 100 yards, okay? To get all like 10 rounds on it. I was really pleased with that. And I would say at 25 and 50 yards, I was in a group about this big. Now that's iron sights, okay? And these iron sights I think are a little bit off. So essentially I had to shoot to the down and to the right. So to get it kind of close to center. But I don't have a tool for the front sight, and so I had to just, you know, kind of figure out where it wanted to, you know, impact the target. But overall, it was fun. Definitely something different. And then I did go to the kind of the 25-yard range, and I did a couple of mag dumps with it. I tried to shoot it like a rifle with the bipod closed, but the bipod wants to constantly come out on you, so I kind of held it from the bipod standpoint. And then I rested it on the bench and just did a mag dump with it. That's what I did. So that's how I reviewed it. Kind of interesting. And I just got to learn a lot more about the RPK. But I had a good time with it. And it is Romanian, not Serbian. But yeah, Century Arms. Okay, so there you go on that one. Let me put this one over here on the floor to make some room. And the next thing I reviewed was a suppressor. Now, you guys know I'm trying to get into some suppressor reviews. So this is going to be my first one where I'm trying to kind of cut my teeth and kind of figure out how do I want to structure a suppressor video. Now, the suppressor that I took to the range today was the AB suppressors. This is the A-10 556. And on their website, they market it as Simplicity. So it's a pretty simple suppressor. I have to say it's not a very big suppressor, and when I decided to mount it, and the gun I'm going to use as the host weapon I think on many of these suppressor reviews is my North Star Arms AR-15. And the reason is this has a 16-inch barrel, and I kind of feel like that should be the standard. If I tried to review suppressors on short barrels, not everybody can have those or likes those. But everyone has a 16-inch barrel, and if it performs well at this barrel length, it's going to be fine at longer barrel lengths and shorter barrel lengths and so forth. But it's a direct thread suppressor, and when I had it here and got a chance to take a look at this, It's small. It doesn't really seem like it has a lot of volume to it. And I think its decibel reduction reflects that. Now, I don't have a decibel meter, okay? The things I took to the range was a chronograph. So we'll talk about this. This Garmin chronograph is amazing, okay? It's amazing. And I also took a laser thermometer, and then I wanted to test, I think I broke it down by testing first off, what does the gun sound like unsuppressed? Then what does it sound like suppressed? And how does it change the gassiness of the gun? From an accuracy standpoint, the gun shoots a little bit better, believe it or not, unsuppressed. I got a better group consistently, I mean, just by a little bit, unsuppressed. The suppressor typically makes it shoot a little bit lower and opens up the group, which is kind of the opposite of what I'm used to with suppressors. The tone of this suppressor is mid-range. I really like suppressors that have a low pitch and more of a sound to it. And my Yankee Hill Machine titanium Phantom has that sound, but it's a bigger suppressor. This one is not a high pitch. I would have to say qualitatively, now I was using hearing protection because I was at an indoor range. I would say this can is hearing safe, but it's going to be on the higher end of hearing safe. I mean, as I said, I don't have anything to measure it, but really the tone of a suppressor is more important than the decibel reduction of a suppressor. But I would say it's probably in the mid-30s, 130s to upper 130s. With a mid-range tone. It's not a high-pitched tone. It's not a low-pitched tone. The flash hider, which is built into the end cap, definitely works. I had no flash whatsoever. And after shooting it for a while, it got up to about 300 degrees. Now, on the chronograph, I forgot, maybe I shouldn't screw this on. Sometimes YouTube, I guess the rules are you can screw a suppressor onto a firearm, but they could change that rule at any time. So let me go ahead and turn, or get off camera here, and let me go ahead and put this on. Hold on. Okay, so here it is, mounted to the NS15. It kind of looks cool. I like those kind of baffles you can see. It's a tubeless suppressor. And I think on the chronograph, I want to say I had higher velocities suppressed than I did unsuppressed, which also surprised me. This suppressor performed in different ways than I was expecting. It didn't really act like a normal suppressor. I think the other test I did was the kind of a gassiness test. I just got to kind of talk about that. I tried to figure out a way, as I mentioned in previous videos, to set up like a piece of paper to see how much gas would come out of the ejection port, but I wasn't able to get any results that I felt were definitive one way or the other, so it's just going to have to be qualitative. And I can tell you that it definitely gets gassy. This is not a low flow suppressor, so you do feel it. And when I shot about 20 rounds in quick succession, not super fast, I mean, my eyes were kind of tearing up and watering up a little bit. I did shoot it from the bench to test its accuracy at 25 yards. And that's where I discovered that it grouped better unsuppressed. But anyway, so I kind of do like a first impressions tone test. I kind of do a gassy test, and then I do a accuracy test, and I do a chronograph test. So that's what I'm going to how I'm going to kind of structure the suppressor videos. And then the other things, you just have to kind of take my word for it, is the tone, because the camera will not always pick that up, and how well it suppresses. So I'm going to try to give data that other people don't give. But yeah, so that was the other thing I tried, and hopefully I'll come up with a kind of a good formula for a suppressor review. So this is the first thing I'm going to work on. So let me go ahead and put this down too. And now let's talk about the other thing. Now this is not going to be a review. I kind of feel like maybe I should do a product review on this. D let me borrow the new Garmin, I think it's called the Zero, I think. What's it called? The Garmin, Yeah, the 0C1 Pro. This little chronograph right here is absolutely amazing. Okay, it is so easy to use. I got it out last night and I was like, okay, so I'm going to do this suppressor. I got to learn how to use it. It is so intuitive. The menu on it is easy. You simply just turn it on. You could start your it says new session. It saves everything. You can look at your history. The buttons are really easy. You set it up simply once you start the session, just 5 to 15 inches away from the muzzle of the firearm. And you can input the projectile weight if you want. You don't have to. And you tell if it's a pistol or a rifle. And then it also, of course, I'm using my phone to film this. It also syncs to your phone. So I can get all the data on the phone. And it just syncs with Bluetooth. It was the easiest thing I've ever seen. I really thought this was going to be kind of complicated where I'd have to figure out no. This is amazing. And I have to get one. And I kind of want to do a product review on this. This is awesome. And I think if you're a serious gun guy and you care about stuff like this and ballistics, you got to get one of these. This thing is awesome and amazing. So, yeah. Okay, somebody turn that off. So those were the 3 things I kind of tried out. I think overall pretty darn successful on those. So let me know what you think about that. All right, so now let me move these magazines out of the way and let's go into upcoming projects. Now, I told you I took a couple pistols back to Jack number 1, and he had something for me to review, and that is going to be this SIG pistol. Now, this is an older SIG. It's a German-made SIG. This is the P229, but in my favorite caliber, 357 SIG. And this is a factory 357 SIG. Now, the only thing about this gun I don't like is the slide. Now, this has something called the Legacy slide. Now, I never understood why they called it the Legacy slide because it's a newer design compared to the older ones. I prefer the slide designs on the ones that were made of the stamped sheet metal. This was made from like a block of steel. And now they make the current slides like the old ones, where you have the cocking serrations that go all the way to the top. I'm not a big fan of how the slide narrows here at the top. I just don't think that looks as good. It's an aesthetic thing. I feel like I get better grips with the other ones. But yeah, they call this the Legacy slide. But I prefer the other slide. But everything else about this is going to be pretty cool, I think. It does say it was imported by SIG Arms in Exeter, New Hampshire, and it was made in Germany. So, yeah, that's going to be cool. Unfortunately, I don't think it has the original grips. Someone put some Hogue grips on these, and I know that Jack purchased this used. So he finds some awesome deals when it comes to used guns. So the gun store he likes to use had this, and he got a great deal for it. And so it came with 3 magazines and I guess the original box. And here it says SIG Arms. So yeah, so we have a SIG P229 and 357 SIG. And I don't have many guns that I've reviewed in 357 SIG. So I'm excited about that. It's my favorite caliber, hands down. And I think I have enough ammunition. I might have to talk to Mark at Brownworks because I might need some for this review. But So there you go. This is also pretty darn close to what the U.S. Secret Service carried for a while. It's my understanding, though, that they had the 229R, which is the one with the rail in the front, and they used the DAK trigger, or the double action Kellerman is what it was called. And it's kind of like the HK LEM triggers, essentially. But, yeah, 229, compact. So there you go, upcoming projects video. So what else can I talk about tonight? I wanted to ask you guys if you guys wanted me to start getting kind of back into like talking about news and current events and what's going on in the gun world. I know that my channel has kind of gotten away from that a little bit because there's so many channels out there now that do the politics and the law stuff that maybe what I could add to the conversation might not be as relevant to you, or might not interest you. I mean, I'm happy to share my thoughts on things. For example, like the recent decision where a federal judge said that machine guns were protected by the Second Amendment. And something I would say about that is I am glad to see that conservative judges are finally starting to uphold the Constitution, because when it comes to the liberal justices, you know, they always make some type of word salad to make whatever they believe fit the narrative. And we just don't seem to have judges on our side that do the same. And I think we actually found one that kind of did. But let me know if you guys want me to talk more about, you know, the cultural, legal, and the current event issues. And I'll be happy to do that as well. I know I've gotten real gun focused as of late. And let me think, is there anything else I wanted to mention? Oh yes, there was one other thing I wanted to mention. And I just want to throw it out there for all the other content creators. And I told you that sometimes things can be canaries in coal mines. I got another video that was age restricted today on the main channel. And it was the video about Matt Hoover. The one where I say Matt Hoover is not 100% innocent. And I know I get a lot of hate and shade on that video because there's a lot of people out there that think he is like the gun messiah or something because he was willing to do something stupid and risk his whole life for a stupid like auto key card or something, whatever. And I talk about how there were better ways of fighting it. He could have done it in a smarter way and so forth. But it got age restricted. And I thought, okay, it must be getting age restricted because of the topic. And I appealed it, and within 15 minutes, it was granted. So it's no longer age restricted. But I kind of thought that was kind of interesting that after that video being up for over, 2 years now, it got age restricted. But it was only age restricted for like 10 minutes. So anyway, if you're a content creator, are you getting any more of these? Because I said in the past couple of weeks, I've had one video get removed, but then I appealed it and it got reinstated. And then I had one that got age restricted and it got reinstated. But it seems like the Google AI is, I don't know, doing what it does, especially in lead ups to elections. You know, it's always that way. So anyway, if you made it to the end of this video, the word of the day. What's the word of the day? Okay, the word of the day is Romanian because I screwed up in the beginning calling it a Serbian RPK. It's a Romanian RPK. So, did I say Romanian or Romania? Okay, either's fine. Romania or Romanian is the word of the day. Your choice. So thanks for joining me here in the garage. Let me know if you have any thoughts on any of the things that I talked about, any of the items that I reviewed, or the pistol I plan on reviewing. And let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.